Wombats, an adorable species with a great story. When I first started this video, I intended for it to be a light-hearted trip in search for wombats, but unfortunately, in the process, I learnt about the real problems this species face. There are three species of wombat: the northern hairy nose, the southern hairy nose, and the common wombat, which is the species we're going to be trying to find in this video. And unfortunately, there's a disease that's affecting all three of them: mange. Now, mange is actually a species of mite that burrows under the skin and affects most mammals, including us humans, but especially wombats. There are two theories on how wombats got mange here in Australia. One, it arrived about 60,000 years ago with Aborigines, or it arrived 200 years ago with European settlers. The reason why mange is so bad in wombats is because of their burrows. Mange absolutely thrives in the dirt that they use to create them. So unfortunately, if a wombat goes into an existing burrow that had mange, it will be transferred onto him. Mange becomes incredibly itchy and causes fur loss, scabbing, bleeding, and even in severe cases can cause blindness and death. For this video, we've travelled back to Kangaroo Valley, as we've been told this area is teeming with wombats, and it certainly didn't take us long before we found our first evidence of them. This is a wombat burrow. Look at the absolute size of it. So they dig these out and they are incredible at defending themselves. Remarkably, they actually use their bums. Wombats have massive bums. And sometimes what they'll do, if they have a predator chasing them, is they'll run in here and they'll block the entrance with their enormous backside. And sometimes, in extreme cases, if the predator does manage to get in, they'll use them to crush it against the side of the wall. How brutal is that? It's still quite early in the evening, so this wombat that dug this little hole out might even still be in here having a bit of a kip. Look here. Right here is some wombat poo. And amazingly about wombats is they poo in cubes. How amazing is that? But this just goes to show that there are wombats about. So we have a wombat burrow, but there isn't any poo around here. So what we're going to do is a little test to see if there's one living in this burrow. What we do is we put a stick right in front of the entrance. Now it's quite wind protected here, so we don't have to put it in too hard. And what's going to happen is if there's a wombat living in this burrow, when he comes out or when he goes in, he's going to knock this stick over, and that will give us a good indication if he's living in here. Now we've done this with two others around this property, which will give us a great idea of how many wombats might be living in this area. Okay, so it's the next day and we're going to check our wombat traps to see if we've got any. We were lucky enough to see some last night, so we know that they're definitely on the property. This first one still has a stick. That one's been knocked over. Okay, the stick's still here with this one, but that shows that one of them has been knocked over. So we now know that that one might have a wombat in, so we can stay clear of that one and leave it alone. Unfortunately, the more wombats we found, the more it became obvious how bad mange has become. He's got mange. Yeah. You can really see the mange on the side of him. There are, however, a number of treatment methods to help stop the spread. This strange looking thing here is actually a mange medication trap. And now that we know which burrows are being used, we know where to set these up. And all it is an old tuna can which holds the medication and a bit of cardboard. And how it works is you set this up on top of the burrow, and as the wombat walks in, it paws along his back, just like that. So what will be the outcome of mange, and should we even be treating it? Although it's believed that wombat numbers have had a steady increase since 1985, mange is still causing a lot of damage. Even if mange won't cause the extinction of this species, it still manages to bring down certain populations, bringing disastrous effects towards Australia's ecosystem. From 2010 to 2016, the wombat population within the Naratapu National Park in Tasmania dropped by 94% due to a severe outbreak of mange. And although it's unlikely that mange will ever be eradicated in the wild, at least there are methods that can be used to reduce transmission. Even if all this isn't a reason to be preventing the spread, I know that I for one wouldn't want to live with a disease like this.